Once again, the breaking news we are following for you this morning with just hours to go in his term. President Biden issuing pardons, or pre-pardons, I guess you could say, for General Mark Milley, Dr. Anthony Fauci, and all Congress members and staff who served on the January 6th Select Committee. That includes witnesses who also testified against President Trump.
Oh, Cheryl, they know that they did things that were unlawful and certainly unethical. And President Biden knows this. So as information comes out, he wants to be able to say that he gave them a pardon. And it is basically for them to be held unaccountable for what they did with the committee, with COVID. And I'm not surprised by this at all. This is a president who has worked overtime, trying to make illegal legal.
Joe Biden is an absolute disgrace. He's an absolute hypocrite. I mean, he basically pardoned everybody that we all know is guilty of heinous crimes. Now,
That's the show, did it?
what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Assuming nothing's changed since the last time, and I can still call you that. Now, let me be very clear. I understand the president. That's one of the perks of being the president is on your way out, you can pardon whomever you want. But this guy has pardoned people that honestly, I think the American people deserve to see brought to justice, or at the very least deserve to see them defend themselves and be found not guilty. I think the American people deserve, given what happened in 2020 in the events of the 2020 election and how COVID was managed and how people were silenced and all the stuff that came out of the Twitter files and the things that happened with the vaccine and all of that, all the cover-ups, all the scandals. I think the American people deserve to have some questions answered reasonably. But no, that's not how the left operates. See, the left talks about transparency, but they don't actually believe in transparency. Joe Biden talks about being transparent and being honest and doing things a different way because of the negative precedent that it would set, but then literally turns around and does the exact opposite.
Or you're going to see in our administration the approach to making policy by tweets. It's just going to be a totally different way in which we approach the justice system.
The only reason I know to ask for a pardon is because you think you've committed a crime.
I only know of one reason to seek a pardon, because you're worried that you're guilty, that you committed a crime.
A few years later.
It's a Fox News alert. President Biden, this just came across, just issues new pardons for Dr. Anthony Fauci. You could call these preemptive pardons. Dr. Anthony Fauci, retired four-star General Mark Milley. This just happened moments ago. It also includes the members of Congress and staff who served on the Select Committee and the U.S. Capitol, and D.C. Metropolitan Police officers who testified before the Select Committee. This as Trump prepares to take the oath of office in just a few hours.
Would that include Liz Cheney?
So
what a mess.
No, it doesn't. I guess, yeah.
Committee?
Yeah, Select Committee.
The whole select.
But what does it say?
What's wildest to me about this is 4 years ago when Trump was leaving office, every single human being that he pardoned was pretty much lambasted by media, by social media, by leftist media.
So the president's pardon of Scooter Libby, Congressman, has inspired you to propose new legislation. What exactly would it do?
What it would do is say that in the event the president pardons anyone in an investigation in which the president is a witness, a subject, or the target, those investigative files will all be turned over to the Congress. The Congress ought to know whether the president is using the pardon power to obstruct justice. The American people have a right to know.
But this feels, I think, to a lot of people like the start, that this is the phase in the Trump movie where he just starts pardoning all the criminals around him. Is that what you see here?
Yeah, I think this is probably the first, at least the first recent pardon in what will become a long line of corrupt pardons. And I think the real challenge will be for the incoming Biden administration. When President-elect Biden is sworn in and appoints a law-abiding attorney general, that person will have to decide whether to challenge some of these corrupt pardons, because just as Donald Trump corruptly commuted a sentence of his basically co-conspirator Roger Stone virtually on the day or a couple of days before Roger Stone was to report to prison to begin serving a 40-month sentence, I maintain that was a corrupt pardon or corrupt commutation. This is similarly a corrupt pardon of somebody who was cooperating with the Mueller probe, presumably providing information against Donald Trump, pled guilty not once but twice in court, and all that was left was for him to be sentenced. I think the incoming attorney general will have his or her hands full with respect to challenging these corrupt pardons.
But the hypocrisy behind who Joe Biden has chosen to pardon, people like the January 6th committee, why would he pardon them? Especially if there was a big insurrection, especially if Trump was guilty.
When I interviewed President-elect Trump in December, he was quite clear. He said, I think members of the January 6th committee should go to jail. He did not mince words. I said, you think Liz Cheney should go to jail? He said, yes. Never said what the crime was, by the way, and since then has not laid out the crime. What's notable is that you have committee members like Liz Cheney, like Senator Adam Schiff saying, we didn't do anything wrong. We don't want a pardon. But here's the key thing to know. Once the president issues these pardons, that's it. You don't get to reject it. The pardon is there. And so this is a significant historic moment because it speaks to the concerns about the threats of legal repercussions that the January 6th committee and all of the other folks, General Mark Milley, might be facing. Remember that tweet you said, not sometimes threats very clear against Mark Milley, saying that he should in effect be executed for treason.
As you say, Mark Milley, who is chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff under both Biden and Trump, you know that 100%. What he's done in the past, you know that he was calling China, trying to putting down President Trump.
Ironically enough, Trump, based on this precedent that Joe Biden has set, could have, well, I guess technically now he can because, you know, he's a convicted felon, something he won't let us forget. He technically can pardon himself. And nobody on the left can say anything about it. Now, I'm not sure, but I don't actually think Trump pardoned anybody in his family. I'm not sure. I know they were talking about it. I don't recall him actually doing that. I could be wrong about that.
First, let's give you a bit of a fact board on some of the pardons. Okay, so 73 pardons and then commuted the sentences of 70 others. Very important, he did not pardon himself, Devo, his family, or Rudy Giuliani. And some people were speculating that he may, but he did not.
Which is interesting, yeah.
President Biden is expected to issue a pardon for his son, Hunter.
Shocking.
Yes, Biden said on multiple occasions that he would not pardon his son, or he whispered it, or commute his sentence. The pardon comes ahead of Hunter's December 12th sentencing for his conviction on federal gun charges. Hunter is also set to be sentenced on tax evasion charges December 16th. None of that's going to happen.
And here they are weaponizing the seat, weaponizing this position, ironically enough, in the same ways that they accused Donald Trump of doing. They accused Trump of trying to pre-pardon himself or pre-pardon his family members. You know, incredibly enough, Trump didn't pre-pardon himself, and he still beat all the charges. There's this one nonsense 34-count charge, no jail time, no punishment, nothing like that. There should probably be an investigation on that case too, but I'll leave that one alone. The facts are that even still, Trump beat all of the above. There was no need for him to pardon himself because he would just fight it and win because he didn't actually do the things he's being accused of. Contrast that with the left, where they actually are doing all the things, or actually are guilty of all the things that they accuse MAGA, Trump, and Republicans of.
Mr. Biden made his money by using his last name and connections to secure lucrative business opportunities, such as a board seat at a Ukrainian industrial conglomerate, Burisma Holdings Limited, and a joint venture with individuals associated with a Chinese energy conglomerate. He negotiated and executed contracts and agreements that paid him millions of dollars for limited work.
You ever want to know what a Democrat is up to? Listen to what they accuse the other side of. Listen to what they accuse the opponent of. It's what they do all the time. Rejection and gaslighting is the native tongue of the Democrat Party. Certainly, at least right now, at least that's what I think. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Like this video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all of you for making it all the way to the end. Don't forget to give me a follow over here on Rumble and follow me on Truth Social and on X. No matter what you think about all of this, however, remember to stay skeptical, stay informed, and always question the narrative. And assuming nothing's changed in the last few minutes, and I can still call y'all ladies and gentlemen, I'll catch you on the next one.
So this is a significant moment because I think it does underscore the very real concerns about what might happen.
Lawmakers on Capitol Hill reacting. Senator Eric Schmidt saying the guy who claimed he would protect norms continues to bulldoze them and the Constitution until the bitter end. Biden truly is one of the worst presidents in American history and will only be remembered as the guy between Trump's 2 terms.
Transparency at the very least.